So today we are going to talk about holiday food swaps. So this is a holiday series as we saw last time. I hope you can see me from one screen. So there are two screens basically. One I'm using to share the PowerPoint. The other one is basically for the recipe, but it's also for you to, see me. I'm not sure. Are you able to see my screen and listen to me? Are you able to see the screen? Or
Yes.
am I popping up? Okay.
Yeah, we see both.
Okay, that's cool. Okay, so with holiday food swaps, we know this time of the year we gather with family and friends, and we make a lot of holiday-related foods. It's holiday season, and so what happens is the average calories that we consume increases, exponentially actually. So if it's actually seen that during Thanksgiving, one person alone consumes about 3,000 to 4,500 calories. That's really a lot. But then that's not going to be only one day, it's going to be multiple days because we're also going to stick to the leftovers from Thanksgiving. And then by the time that's done, December, Christmas comes up, and again, there's going to be a lot of cookies, cakes, dessert, whatnot. So, of course, the calories are going to increase. And then, so what can be some of the healthy holiday eating goals is just to, look some healthy options. Healthy swaps, that's what we're going to talk about. You can either swap the ingredients or you can swap the recipe by itself. And then few people might be worried about the healthy weight gain, holiday weight gain. It is said that people gain a lot of weight during holidays. Like there's been, a big research going on, and it is seen that most people who are, who kind of maintain their routine throughout the year kind of go off the routine during holidays. So what can we do to actually, prevent this? And then keeping in the mind that looking good is should not be the only priority, but then it should also be, we have to feel healthier. We don't have to, we should not feel uncomfortable after a meal or something. So that should also be a priority. So your goals can revolve around these. Even if you don't have a goal, you can have one. I would say my personal goal would be, just looking for some healthy options. So that way, every year when you make something, you're not bored. You kind of swap and try new things. So what are holiday food swaps? So switching out 1 to 2 holiday traditional foods for alternative options, and altering a recipe by substituting a few ingredients to make it a healthier option. So it can be either of these. And do you need to give up all the dishes? No. You just have to find the substitute, or you have to find something that is less in fat, sugar, and other things that you don't want to put inside your body. So as I said, ingredient swaps can be changing just a few ingredients in the recipe, but it can still have the same flavors, same essence of the dish. And when it comes to recipe swaps, it can be altogether a different recipe itself. So let's first see some ingredient swaps. So instead of using white bread rolls, it is advised to use whole wheat rolls. Again, if you I know, I think we spoke about this last time, it's more about increasing the fiber. So whole grains or whole wheat is a whole grain. So whole foods contain more fiber. So that way it helps your gut with digestion, especially after eating, all the meal, your gut is going to feel a bit different. So eating more fiber and including more fiber in form of whole grains or vegetables can actually help the digestion process. And swapping out butter or margarine or shortening or oil with applesauce, banana, and cooking spray or non-stick pan. So I know we grease the pan, or we grease, say, the baking sheet, um, so that it doesn't stick to the whatever we make or bake doesn't stick to the bottom. But using non-stick can be a very good option. If you're making something on stove top, non-stick is also a very good option, because again, it doesn't absorb more oil. And then I recently found out that if a recipe calls for, say, 1 cup of butter, you can use half cup of butter and use half cup of like applesauce. So that is also a very good substitute for butter. And then swapping out cream with fat-free or half and half, or evaporated or skim milk. So this way you get less fat or no fat, instead of just having fat from the cream. And then again, with cream cheese and full fat, you can use fat-free or low-fat cream cheese. And I think I'm not sure what new fettuccine is. I'll take a look at it and get back to you next class. But again, using low-fat cottage cheese or Greek yogurt can be a very good substitute instead of cream cheese. You can use this in dips, and other recipes that calls for cream cheese. And then instead of eggs, you can use egg substitute that is natural and which is not artificial. Or also you can maintain or balance the sodium level as well. So if you're worried about using whole eggs, you can use egg substitutes. And then with mayonnaise, it is again going to contain a lot of fat. You can use reduced calorie or reduced fat mayonnaise. It can get a bit expensive, but this is also a very good option to avoid, excess fat. And then instead of sugar, you can have the sugar in baked goods, and for the sweetness or for the flavor, or you can match it with nutmeg, vanilla, or cinnamon. So this way, you don't feel that it's not like a dessert, because you have the other added flavor to it. So this way you can balance out the sugar. And swapping out salt, swapping salt and adding herbs, spices, citrus juices. Citrus, especially lemon, can be a very good substitute for salt. Rice vinegar and salt-free seasoning. Say if you want to, just while cooking, if you want to use garlic, there's garlic salt and there's also salt. So I know a lot of people usually add salt and then add the garlic salt as well. So instead you can just stick to either or. So this can be a very good substitute. And then when it comes to, so before we go that, do you have any suggestion on some ingredient swaps? Anyone who has tried something different before?
I've used chia seeds.
Chia seeds?
Chia seeds in swap of eggs.
That's nice. That's a good set. How did it turn out, the recipe?
It turned out really well. You soak the chia seeds so that they become that gelatin.
Okay. Yes.
And then for baking. Yeah. Okay. And then it works just as well as eggs.
Okay. Yeah. Chia seeds are also, they contain more protein and fiber, especially when they're soaked, because they bulge up. So the protein and the fiber content increases. So that's a good substitute. Anyone else? Okay, so I hope you get to try some swaps this time. So when it comes to recipe swaps, all of us know queso is going to contain high amount of cheese, cream, and high fat milk. It's going to be high in sodium because of the other ingredients that you have, or if it's going to be store-bought, again, it's going to be high in sodium. And it's usually paired with chips, which is, again, it contains salt, because tortilla chips, they come with salt. So instead, you can actually use spinach dip. So you can You can substitute yogurt, Greek yogurt, which is a very good option when it comes to dip, and it's going to be lower in fat and sodium, and it pairs well with vegetables and whole wheat crackers. So you can swap out the chips for vegetables or whole wheat crackers. So this can be a very good option, and you're also adding spinach to it. So again, green leafy vegetables contain B vitamins and iron. So when it comes to buffalo chicken dip, again, it's going to be high in fat, high in sodium. Again, it's paired with chips. So some healthier option can be jalapeno, corn, and chicken popper dip. So it's substituted full fat cream cheese this is going to be a cream cheese that contains less sodium is what I'm guessing. Or it can also be, plain Greek yogurt and added cooked chicken breast and seasoned with smoked paprika. So again, you're adding some herbs and spices to it. So it's going to, increase the flavor and aroma in the recipe, and it pairs well with whole wheat crackers and whole wheat pita bread. So again, you're getting, the fiber from the whole grains that we're using. So as I said, it's going to, increase the digestion. So when it comes to fried or brine turkey, so we know the brine solution is going to contain excess salt, which is nothing but sodium, and it is also going to contain a lot of saturated fat if it is deep fried. So instead, you can actually use, roasted turkey. Oh, sorry, this was turkey. I said chicken. But even for chicken, just in general, when you're, when you're cooking, you can roast the chicken. Again, when it comes to turkey, you can roast it, and also you can add a variety of, herbs and spices to it. So this might enhance the flavor. And this is going to be low in sodium, and it uses olive oil as a healthier fat. So that is recommended because it's good for our heart health, brain health, and everything. So when it comes to cranberry sauce, canned cranberries can contain excess sugar and is very less in fiber, and is not going to contain any other nutritional value except calories. So if you see the food label here, you can see how one serving, 1/4 serving, which is 70 grams, is going to give 110 calories. And then there's nothing but only carbohydrate, and it's going to be sugars. So if you see the new label, it would say natural sugars and added sugars. So we need to reduce the amount of added sugars in our meal. So we need more, if we don't need any excess sugars, but even then, say banana or mango, it's going to have some natural sugars. So it is okay to take natural sugars to a point, but we have to avoid the added sugars. So I'm pretty sure this is going to contain, the canned cranberry is going to contain only added sugars and not any natural sugars to it. And it doesn't contain any protein as well. If you see here, this contains high fructose corn syrup and corn syrup. So that is really, really bad. It is, again, it's added sugar. It is not healthy to consume high fructose corn syrup because of the simple sugar. So instead, you can actually make homemade cranberry sauce. So this is going to contain, less sugar, less calories, and it is high in flavors such as citrus and cinnamon. So you can, if you see, you get some amount of calcium, potassium, and the added sugar is, so this is how a new label looks, and the added sugar is only 3 grams, whereas total sugar is just 5 grams, and this is going to be, the 1/4 cup is going to only be 46 grams of servings. I mean, this is just an example, but then when you make it in your home, it's going to be, different from the store-bought, and it's not going to contain, especially this is very important because it's not going to contain any high fructose corn syrup to it, so which is really good. And when it comes to mashed potatoes, again, it's going to contain, high-fat milk or just milk, and then it's going to have more butter and salt added to it. Again, potatoes are, high in simple carbs. It's not bad. Carbs are good and essential, but then it should be consumed only to an extent and not, not in higher quantities. So instead, you can try mashed potato with cauliflower. So this way, you add less salt, less fat to it. You can use low-fat cream cheese or Parmesan cheese, and then less butter. So you can lean towards unsalted butter, and you can add more herbs and spices. So this way you get the flavor, and then of course cauliflower is going to contain more fiber in it. So that way you get the fiber. Fiber is also a form of carbohydrate, but it's a complex form, and that's what we need in our body. So we are going to get carbohydrates, but the good form of carbohydrates. When it comes to sweet potato casserole, it's going to contain, excessive added sugar. It contains, one serving would contain more than 14 grams of added sugar, which is really bad. And if using butter, then it's again going to be high in fat. So to avoid this, you can definitely go for roasted sweet potato with pecans and maple drizzle. So this again is going to be different, and is going to be, this even smell, this even looks delicious. So it's going to contain less butter, it's going to contain less sugar, and then high in nutrients from the sweet potato and pecans. So again, this pecan would definitely contain higher fiber, and it also contains omega-3 fatty acids, which is really essential. So if you don't make the stuffing yourself, if you buy from the store, it's going to again contain added sugar. Everything from the store is definitely going to contain some sugar. Even if you purchase something, you have to make sure you purchase it in such a way that it does not contain any added sugar. And then again, if you're using butter, it's going to be high. If they had used butter, it's going to be high fat. So instead, if you can make your own stuffing, I know it's time consuming, but then it's going to be a healthier option. You can include a variety of vegetables. It is low in sodium, and you also tend to use more herbs and spices, and you can switch out the half or white bread with whole wheat bread. So that way, again, you're going to get the additional fiber. So when it comes to sweet potato pie, it is high in fat from the crust. Instead, you can actually make crustless sweet potato pie. So this would remove the excessive fat that you get from the crust. So yes, these are some of the healthier options that you can actually try during your holidays. Do you have any other recipe swaps that you've tried, or you're planning to try for this year? Anyone? Or you've heard someone, like you've visited your friends and you've seen them try it? Have you tried something so far? It's okay if you haven't. If you think you're going to try, that would be good.
We do a Texas caviar salad every year, which is just all vegetables, and
that's nice.
It's very tasty.
Yeah, so you're getting your fiber.
Yes.
Okay. So before we go to today's recipe, yes. So today's recipe is actually going to be very easy and very simple. I know I sent out a recipe through Sharia. It's actually, so that perfect called for, like cooking on the stove and everything, but I actually saw a very simple recipe. I'm also going to send this out. This can be made, individually in cups for dessert, or you can also make it in a big bowl and eat it as dessert. I'm sure all of you would have heard of Parfait. Today we are just going to make a very easy and healthy version of it. So I'm just opening up. Okay, so I have yogurt here. So this is vanilla yogurt, so I'm not going to add any additional vanilla. But then if you just have plain Greek yogurt, you can definitely add vanilla to it. So I'm adding the yogurt to the cup. I've added all the yogurt. Now I'm going to, add some flavor to it. So here I have some cinnamon. So I'm just adding some cinnamon. And then I have pumpkin pie spice. So I'm going to add the pumpkin pie spice and mix it with my spoon. You can also use, as I said, if you're preparing it in a huge quantity, you can use a bowl and you can use the whisker to actually whisk it, as in like mix it. So this is going to be my base. And then I add, I have whole grain, this is Cheerios. You can use any kind of whole grain cereal that you have, or you can also use oats, whole grain oats. And I'm going to add it to the top. So the cereal will actually soak in the, in the yogurt for some time. And I'm gonna add some raspberries. And then some blueberries. Just going to, make it in. So yeah, this is going to be my yogurt parfait. Can you see this? I really think it looks pretty.
It looks very delicious.
Yes, and it also looks beautiful too. Even, I mean, you just want to eat it. So we have, can you tell me how many food groups we have here? Anyone?
How many calories or actual food groups?
Food groups.
Oh, food groups.
Yes.
3?
Yes. So we have dairy, we have whole grain. So grains, basically, because it's a whole grain cereal, and we have fruits. So we have 3 food groups out of the 5 that we saw last time. And any meal that has 3 food group is called a balanced meal. So this can be dessert, or I like to eat this for breakfast because again, it contains 3 food group. So this can be a very healthy option, and you can swap this out for any recipe, or you can also, try and include this in any recipe. So yeah, that's all for today.